Isn't it terrible how movies these days are always the same? Romantic comedies following the same plot and action films the same endless explosions. Even the effects feel similar, with sci-fi dogfights in today's films feeling almost identical to those of the 1977 film Star Wars: A New Hope. Despite what you would think, this has always been an issue in film, even when it was the predominantly silent variety. The work of Joe Kember highlights this with a reflection of pre-existing media taking form almost directly onto film. The most obvious example is melodrama, which saw its rise in the theaters during the 18th and 19th centuries. When film came along, this was quickly transposed in technique and form. This is evident from the Great Train Robbery of 1903, hailed as the beginning of the modern action film and western, creating a variety of new techniques including cross-cutting. However, it had also been performed on stage since 1896, including two scenes running simultaneously, effectively the same technique, on stage. While a fantastic piece of film history, the melodramatic influence is obvious through their exaggerated deaths and general actions through the entire film. Stylistic techniques from this era are still in use today. Take, for example, the final frames of the 1912 melodrama The Unseen Enemy, which, while isn't quite as M-rated as modern romantics, it still ends up with the same cliche kiss and fade. While modern films use this technique secondhand from that era, in turn it was originally from theatre, even a favourite ending to Shakespeare's plays when there was no tragedy involved. Furthermore, effects were secondhand as well, with the rise of magic shots during the early film era. While the magic of film changed the method of trickery, the outcome was the same. As Kember acknowledges, the draw of the audience was how a trick was created, rather than the trick itself. This is quite clear in the Walter R. Booth 1901 short, The Haunted Curiosity Shop, which packs a massive number of tricks in a short duration, demonstrating the scope of the apparatus, or in the film equivalent, the editing. Even later in the film era, this draw still exists, of note in the famous 1922 film Nosferatu. Notice how, while acknowledging the trick, you don't believe it actually happened through magic. Rather, you wondered how it was done and how did they do it so smoothly. Thus, while the early film era saw great development in form, at its core it faced the same issues as today, that being the influence of past media as a predomination of the film industry.